Good morning, students. We'll try to understand with respect to purification of drinking water. Now, water passes through these various chambers before it reaches home. Let's study this stepwise. From reservoir. Reservoir is a huge tank where water is stored. From reservoir, it enters a sedimentation tank where the water is allowed to settle down. Here, heavier particles settle down at the bottom and the light particles are floating on top. In the next chamber is a loading tank. Here the alum is added. So alum combines with this floating impurities and it combines with the floating impurities and settles down along with the heavier particle. Next chamber, here the impure water is made to pass through fine sand, fine gravel and coarse gravel. Now all these three layers have different pore size. If some impurities are there, depending upon the pore size or the hole, pore is nothing but hole, the impurities are getting trapped at each level. Once the impure water has been purified to certain extent, next chamber it enters is a chlorination chamber. Here chlorine is added to kill bacteria and finally it reaches home. And this is a very important concept. Next we will try to understand with respect to physical change, the properties that can be observed. Example, color, hardness, rigidity, fluidity, etc. No change in chemical composition is a physical change. Now, physical properties are nothing but the properties that you can observe. Okay, when there is no change in the chemical composition or the chemical nature of a substance, then it is known as physical change. A very common example is conversion of ice to water, water to your steam. Now we see that only the states of matter has changed, but the chemical composition of all these three states are the same. Chemical composition has not at all varied. So such change is known as a physical change. Chemical changes. In chemical changes, one substance reacts with another substance to undergo a change. Chemical change is also called a chemical reaction. There is change in chemical properties. For example for a chemical change is when hydrogen combines with oxygen in presence of electricity, it forms water. Now hydrogen and oxygen is a gas, whereas water is a liquid. So there is change in the chemical composition. Yes, and the properties vary. Because of change in composition, the properties also vary. And there is change in the states of matter also over here. Now this is categorized under chemical change. The name itself is telling you there is change in the chemical composition. Next, moving on to elements. Under pure substance, we have elements. Robert Boyle was the first scientist to use the term elements in 1661. Antoine Laurent Lavoisier defined element. He defined the elements as a basic form of matter that cannot be broken down into simpler substance by chemical reactions. Now he said these elements are nothing but substances which cannot be broken down further by chemical reactions. Under elements, we have metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now, on what basis do we call a particular substance as metals? It should be lustrous. It means shiny. Metals mostly are silvery gray or golden yellow. They are good conductor of heat and electricity. They are ductile, malleable. It can be drawn. Ductile means it can be drawn into thin wires. Malleable, it can be drawn into thin sheets. It is sonorous. It means it produces sound. For example, school bells, these are sonorous. It means it produces sound when you hit it. So all the metals, most of the metals are sonorous in nature. Mercury is the only metal that is liquid at room temperature. Non-metals display a variety of colors. Poor conductor of heat and electricity. Not lustrous, sonorous or malleable in nature. They have the properties opposite to that of metals. Some elements have intermediate properties between those of metals and non-metals. They are called metalloids. Example, boron, silicon, germanium, etc. Under elements, we have metals, non-metals and metalloids, and the properties of metals and non-metals are important. Next, we will try to study the difference between mixtures and compounds. Now, mixtures are the combination of elements or compounds. They just mix together to form a mixture. For example, iron nail is mixed with a clay, water. We know that iron is a metal. Okay, clay is actually mixture. It is made up of several substances. Water is a compound. So we see that mixture, it is made up of elements or compounds. They are all mixed together. Those are nothing but the mixtures. Compounds, elements react to form compounds. Mixtures have variable composition. It means the how much amount a substance will react. That composition is not fixed. Whereas compounds has a fixed composition. How much of a reactant will combine to form a product is fixed. Mixture shows a property of the constituent particles. Here, when you combine the substances to form a mixture, it does not lose its individual properties. Iron is not losing the property, water is not losing the property, or clay is not losing the property. But whereas new substances have totally different property. When compounds are being formed, it has totally different properties. Can be separated by physical method. You can separate it by physical methods. All these you can separate it by distillation, by hand picking. So these are few of the physical method. By chemical or electrochemical reactions. So this is with respect to mixtures and compounds.